Pardon me?
Are you an MS-13 member? It says so.
Hey, that's okay. That's okay. I got a question. No. I got a question for you. Why don't you come up here and hand me that picture? Bring it. USA. This guy wouldn't like the surface nation. This guy ain't got the balls to be an ICE officer. He hasn't got the balls to be a Border Patrol agent. This guy lives in his mother's basement. The only thing that surprises me, you don't have purple hair and a nose ring. Get out of here, you loser. All right. That's, so I feel kind of bad because you just heard some great preaching. And look, I'm a badass. I say bad things. So look, let me just start out by saying that sometimes I use a bad word, sometimes I'm harsh. But if I offend anybody here tonight, I don't give a shit. Okay. So look, this is the second time I came out of retirement for President Trump, who happens to be the greatest president in my lifetime. So I was the first guy the president called, and I remember after the election, I'm out to dinner with my wife, and the phone's sitting on the table, and all of a sudden it rings and says, POTUS. My wife says, shit. She goes, he's going to ask you to come back. So I walked outside, and first thing out of his mouth was, Tom, you've been bitching about it for 4 years. Want to come back and fix it? He says, you're damn right. Let's go. So look, Joe Biden took the most secure border of my lifetime under Trump 45 and unsecured it on purpose. The first president in the history of this nation who came into office and unsecured a border on purpose. Wasn't an accident, wasn't mismanagement. So where are we at today? Tonight, as I'm talking to you, we got the most secure border in the history of this nation. In the history. Illegal immigration down 96%. That means 96% less people are coming. With 96% less people coming, how many women aren't being raped by the cartels? How many children aren't dying making that journey? How many pounds of fentanyl isn't getting to the country to kill Americans? How many women and children aren't sex trafficked, unlike the last administration? President Trump's policies are saving lives every day. And look, I wake up like a kid in a candy shop every day because I'm working for this guy. And you know what? Every day is an adventure because I knew he's going to let us do what we do to not only secure the border, but remove millions of illegal aliens that Joe Biden let in this country. On top of the success we already had, the last administration, 500,000 children were trafficked into this country. The last administration lost track of 300,000. Trump's already found thousands of these children. Some of the children were with family members, but some of the children were in sex trafficking and forced labor. Matter of fact, one person we found, one male, had custody of over 20 migrant children, many females. And this administration allowed that to happen. President Trump and myself are not going to be satisfied till we find every single child and save them. The last administration simply didn't give a shit. They didn't. And it's just terrible. I don't care what side of politics you're on. When you got a child trafficked in this country for forced labor and sex trafficking, all hands should have been on deck. Under President Trump, all hands are on deck. And look, I always get asked the question, why did they open the border up? Why did they do that? Why did they release people? Let me tell you the secret. They played the long game. Let millions of people cross the border, and let's release them. Let's put them in a hotel room at $500 a night. Give them 3 meals a day. Give them free medical care and give them work authorization. That brought the whole world to the greatest nation on earth. We left thousands of empty ice beds at $127 a night, empty. Thousands of them. They released them to NGOs at $500 a night. Why did they do that? Because they knew if they're in ICE detention, they get a hearing within 40 days, 90% lose their case, they get sent home. That is not what they wanted. They're playing the long game. Let's release them in the community. Wait 3 or 5 years. Pardon me?
Are you an MS-13 member? It says so.
Hey, that's okay. That's okay. I got a question. No. I got a question for you. Why don't you come up here and hand me that picture? Bring it. USA! All right. You got morons like this all over the country. This guy wouldn't know it's like to serve his nation. This guy ain't got the balls to be an ICE officer. He hasn't got the balls to be a Border Patrol agent. This guy lives in his mother's basement. The only thing that surprises me, you don't have purple hair and a nose ring. Get out of here, you loser. And you're such a badass, meet me off stage in 13 minutes and 50 seconds. I guarantee you, he sits down to pee. Guaranteed. So, sanctuary cities, let me talk about sanctuary cities real quick. Sanctuary cities are pushing back against the Trump agenda. Sanctuary cities are sanctuary for criminals. So sanctuary cities from day one, Chicago says Tom Homan is not welcome in Chicago. I was in Chicago within 24 hours. I've been to New York City. I've been to Denver. And for those folks from Seattle and Portland, I'm on my way to Seattle and Portland. Assholes like this guy think they're going to vilify men and women of ICE, and they're going to intimidate or scare us. I'm not going anywhere. Either it's the men and women of ICE. We're going to do the job that President Trump gave us to do. And let's talk about the hate. I've never before seen in my career such hate against the men and women of ICE in the Border Patrol. That gentleman just standing here, he ain't got the balls to put a badge on and go stand there and take the criminals on. The men and women of ICE have a dangerous job already. I was one of them. I was the first director of ICE that actually came up to the ranks. The 20,000 men and women that worked for me, I never asked them to do anything I didn't do myself because I was one of them. I wore the green uniform. I was a Border Patrol agent. I know what it's like to stand on a dirt trail at 3 o'clock in the morning. A sensor goes off. What's coming north? They don't know. Is it just an illegal alien looking for a better life? Or is it a heavily armed drug smuggler? They don't know, but they're going to stand there and take it on. These are the bravest men and women this nation has. I'm actually kind of happy right now. When I pulled into the event tonight, there was no protesters. I love protesters. I love them. That means your message is getting out. My detail will tell you, if protesters don't show up, I'm extremely disappointed. But the hate is incredible. It's just moved from protesting, which I support. You want to protest ICE? Shame on you, but have that. That's your First Amendment rights. You want to disagree with Trump policies? Okay, you have the right to disagree. But I said from day one, if you cross that line and put hands on an ICE officer, you're going to jail. You impede an ICE officer or Border Patrol agent, you're going to jail. You put hands on them, you're going to jail. You harbor and conceal an illegal alien, you're going to jail. I don't give a shit who you are. Well, the danger facing ICE and Border Patrol right now, I've never seen it before in my career, and I've been doing this since 1984. Throwing Molotov cocktails at officers. The other day they tried to ambush officers in Alvarado. Almost a dozen people, many with automatic weapons. Trying to kill an ICE officer for what? For enforcing the laws of this country? You got members of Congress comparing ICE to Nazis and racists. You got Tim Walz, another loser, who compares them to the Gestapo. And understand this, these members of Congress that are vilifying them, the ICE officers are simply enforcing the law that they wrote, that they enacted. If ICE officers are racist for enforcing the law, what's that make members of Congress? They wrote the damn law. So we're going to prosecute every person that crosses that line. Last night, I was sitting on my couch, actually had a few hours off. I got a tough boss, he don't give me a day off. Last night I'm sitting on the couch, my phone rings, POTUS. He's watching TV and he saw the stones being thrown at ICE vehicles while they're departing an operation. He said, Tom, I'm sick and tired of this. We need to take action. I said, I'm with you. So he sent a tweet out last night. ICE officers will use whatever means necessary to arrest every one of those people that throw a rock. The games are over. I'm tired of this shit. And for those people that want to protest ICE, I feel bad. I just had someone preaching and I'm up here, whatever. If these protesters, these people with purple hair with a nose ring, live in their parents' basement, who don't work and want to go protest ICE, or are getting paid by people, if they think they're going to stop ICE or stop Border Patrol from doing their job, they got another thing coming. Because every time they double down, we're going to triple down. I had 1,000 protesters at my house about a month ago. Good for them. I wasn't even there. My wife's in Italy, so what the hell are they doing? They said they weren't very smart. But they don't understand. We're on a mission to make this country safe again. Every public safety threat, every national security threat we take off the streets of this country makes this country safer. And for those people who say, well, this mass deportation operation, what a racist and un-American thing to say. No, 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 no. We just spent 4 years of massive illegal migration where 10.5 million illegal aliens came to this nation, to our borders. They're demanding due process. They're demanding the right to claim asylum. They demand the right to see a judge. Okay. But at the end of that process, he says you're going home, you're going home. Because that's due process. We don't have a choice. What's the choice? Let them stay? Is that the choice? Because if you don't show consequences, you're never going to fix the problem. And the next president comes in and undoes all the success we're doing. Bottom line is, we're going to enforce the law, unlike the last administration. We're going to hold people accountable. We will continue to prioritize public safety threats and national security threats because they're the most important, they're the most dangerous to the community. But I'll say it again, if you're in the country illegally, you're on the table. It's not okay to enter this country illegally, it's a crime. It's not okay to ignore a judge's order of deportation, we're looking for you. We got over 600,000 illegal aliens with criminal records walking the streets of this nation. We got 1.4 million illegal aliens who had due process at great taxpayer expense, were ordered removed and never left. They became a fugitive, and we're looking for you too. We're going to run this operation because President Trump was elected for this issue. Let's talk about President Trump for a moment. I say this all the time, media goes nuts. President Trump is the greatest president of my lifetime. Under his leadership, we got the most secure border in the history of this nation, and we did that in 7 weeks. President Trump did in 7 weeks what Joe Biden couldn't or wouldn't do in 4 years. President Trump, I was at the RNC, I made a statement at the RNC, said, I think President Trump's going to designate the criminal cartels of Mexico as terrorist organizations. And you know what? He damn well did it. They are now designated terrorist organizations. And President Trump will wipe these cartels off the face of the earth. On a personal note, the biggest hero of my life was my father, war hero from WW2. Well, I spent hundreds of hours. I've spent hundreds and hundreds of hours with President Trump, either in the Oval Office on Air Force One or at outside events. I love this guy. I respect this man. He loves this country like I've never seen anybody love it before. He wants an American flag on every front porch. He wants the laws enforced. He wants law enforcement to be respected again. To me, that makes him one of the greatest presidents ever. He brought me on the second time. My wife's still pissed off. I came out of retirement the second time. Absolutely, she's still pissed off a little bit, but she got over it. Because she understood what Biden did to this border. 10.5 million illegal aliens to this border. A record number of terrorist watch lists, over 400. Over 400 people, terrorist watch lists were called the southern border under 4 years of Biden. Under Trump 45, we had 14. Biden had 400. How many we had since January 20th of this year? 0. How many releases that we had? 0. Let me give you the comparison here. So yesterday I was looking at the numbers, and under Joe Biden, on an average day, 1,800 gotaways that we knew about. 1,800 people cross the border. We don't know who they are, where they came from, or why they're here. 1,800 a day. You know how many there was yesterday? 11. 11 from 1,800. How many people crossed the southern border yesterday? It was 15,000 under Biden some days. Yesterday, 9 were arrested at the border and immediately returned. 9. Sex trafficking has plummeted because the border is secure. Fentanyl overdose deaths have plummeted in this country because we have a secure border. We have already arrested thousands of national security threats and deported them from this country. And the men and women of ICE have already arrested and deported 150,000 illegal aliens, most of them convictions. And I'll say this: I get a lot of mail. Say, Homan, that's not enough. We want more arrested. We want more deported. Well, let me tell you this: we got the big, beautiful bill. You think we're doing good now? Just wait to see what happens. And for the haters, let me leave, I got 1 minute left. Let me leave a little message for the protesters, the haters, the criminals, the ones that want to threaten ICE officers, threaten their wives, threaten their children. They're doxing not only the officers, they're doxing their spouse, they're doxing their children. They're being bullied in churches and schools throughout the nation. I get death threats all the time. You know what? I'm sick of the assholes. You want some? Come get some. And I'm tired of it. Tired of it. But the men and women of ICE, I deserve your respect. They're the finest 1% the country has. And Tom Homan isn't going anywhere. Tom Homan isn't shutting up. Tom Homan going to run the biggest deportation operation this country's ever seen. Take it to the bank.